What's going on, y'all? It's TKJ. Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you for stopping by, man. The time has finally come. I'm back at it here for season 3 of my rebranded NBA series. For those who are new here, I redesigned all 30 teams in the NBA. That means new logos, new stadiums, new jerseys, new all of that for all 30 teams. I've got a playlist on my channel with every single video from this series. The link to that should be popping up on the screen right now, so make sure to check that out if you want to catch up on things. But yeah, man, as you can see, we just won our first championship. Super excited about that. And now this is going to be an off-season episode, man. We're going to go through everything here. We'll go through player retirements, the NBA draft, which does have the real 2024 class. We'll also go through team/player options, qualifying offers, free agency, player progression, all that fun stuff, man. And then we'll take a look around the league and just see which guys went where. These off-season videos are always fun, man, so make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. We just hit 2,000 subs on this channel, so if you still haven't hit that button, I'd really appreciate it if you could. But anyways, man, without any further ado, it's time to get into this video.
Let's get it.
All right, man, let's get things started here with player retirement. We got a few notable names here. We got Andre Iguodala, we got Chris Paul, Kyle Lowry, Thaddeus Young, Al Horford, who are some other guys we got, Danilo Gallinari, Goran Dragic, JaVale McGee. These are all just guys who are actually on teams, just some other free agents here. And actually one of our own players, Robert Covington, who didn't really get any PT either way, but he is retiring as well. Yeah, man, here is a quick look at things. Make sure to pause it if you want to. But let's go ahead and keep this thing moving. And I don't know if I missed something or what, man, but apparently LeBron James also retired. He wasn't on that list that I went through. That's weird. Maybe he retired last offseason and I tried to override it. I'm not too sure. But either way, both him and Chris Paul were inducted into the Hall of Fame. Shout out to him. Let's keep it moving with the draft lottery, man, which doesn't really have anything to do with us because we just won a championship. And I don't even think we have our own pick. Yeah, we don't. It's going to the Crabs. Honestly, I can't even remember what trade that was. Maybe Dylan Brooks back in year 1. I'm not too sure. But either way, the winner of the lottery is the Cincinnati Warriors. Shout out to them. They're going to get the first overall pick, which, like I said, is a real 2024 draft class, so that should be interesting. The rest of the top 3 is the Virginia Beach Tridents and the Vancouver Huskies. Let's go to the draft, man. Where honestly, I think I might try to trade into the first round. I'm not too sure. I kind of want to make a pick, so let's go to the draft and see what I can do. All right, man, so I'm here at the NBA draft, and I'm going to try to trade my way into the first round. I'm going to try to give the Alaska Explorers Mo Bamba and Isaiah Stevens in exchange for the 19th overall pick. Alaska needs a backup center, and at least in this timeline, in this sim, Mo Bamba really boosted his stock last season, man. He came off the bench for us, gave some really good production. I think he'd be a nice backup for Jokic. And I'm also going to give them Isaiah Stevens. He was a first round pick, 31st overall in last year's draft. I think they need some youth at the point guard spot. You know, right now they got Drew Holiday, but they got a few expiring contracts in Monte Morris and DeLon Wright. All of these guys are getting up in age, man. At some point, they're going to need some younger point guards. So you might as well take a flyer on Stevens, who we didn't have in our rotation, so we don't really need him. Let's see if they will say yes to this deal here, and they will. The Coyotes are in the draft, man. Let's get it. And I'm super excited about this pick, man. I'm going to go with Bronny James. I think we need a backup point guard because right now we have Gary Payton II, who, don't get me wrong, man, I absolutely love him. If you guys watch this series, you know I'm a big GP fan. But he is 31 years old and he's got a player option this offseason, which is going to be for a little bit over $9 million, man. If he declines that and wants some more money, then I don't know if I can pay that, man. So I think I want to bring in Bronny James here, who honestly could get some backup point guard minutes right away if we don't bring back GP. Let's go to make this pick, man. Bronny James, welcome to Tucson. So Bronny ended up being a 74 overall, nothing too crazy. But either way, man, I think he's got a lot of upside. He's a good three-point shooter. He's a good facilitator. I'm really happy about that pick, man. But anyways, let's keep it moving. All right, man, taking a look at team/player options. OG Anunoby has declined his. That's no surprise. 19.93. I'm guessing he's going to want something in like the mid-20s, which is a lot of money, but he was really good for us last season. Our best defender, so we definitely got to do what we can to bring him back. And actually, Gary Payton II also accepted his option, man. But I'm just going to wait till player progression, man. I'm sure he's going to go down a little bit. If he drops to like a 75, something like that, then we might move on from him, just so that way we can save a little bit of money. But we'll see how that plays out, man. Let's go to free agency now. Oh, and also, I can't forget, we got to accept the Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's definitely a legend in this series, man. Got to bring him back no matter what. Anyways, now let's keep it moving. So I didn't even realize this, man, but we actually can extend the qualifying offer to Alexei Pokusevski. I thought I was going to have to pay him this offseason. So that's a really nice development, man. That's going to save us some money. Of course, unless some team gives him an offer, but I don't think they will. Either way, though, man, the only person we're not going to extend an offer to is Rajon Tucker. He's 26 years old, 73 overall. I mean, no disrespect, man, but we are going to let him walk. So OG Anunoby is expecting 31.25 M's. Bro, there's just no way that's going to happen. Luckily, he has no offers. So let me go ahead and try to negotiate a better deal here. I'm going to try 23.75 M's per season for 2 years. That is a lot of money, man. But again, OG Anunoby was our best defender, so I think it's worth it. And also, man, the benefit of having a young team, we don't got to pay Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, or Chad Holmgren for the next season or two, which is going to coincide with the end of OG Anunoby's contract. So I think that's going to work out perfectly, man. Your boy thought of everything. So anyways, let's go ahead and see if he will say yes to this, and it looks like he will. Cool. And how do we trade Mo Bamba away, man? I need a backup center. I think Kevon Looney would be an absolute beast for us. He's going to get us some boards, man. He's going to be really tough and physical down low. Let's bring him in on a 1-year deal, man. $6 million. Will he say yes to this? And he will. There we go. And actually, Poku did get an offer after all. It's from the Houston Apollos. 1 year, 11.22 M's. That's not too bad, man. It's only a little bit more than his qualifying, which was $10 million. So we can definitely do that. Let's go to match it. And if you ask me, man, I think we were the big winners of the offseason. We traded into the draft. We got Bronny James, who I think it's going to be really nice off the bench for us. We brought everyone back in for agency, and we also added Kevon Looney, who I think will be a nice backup center. And now taking a look at player progression, man, we got a lot of green arrows here. Cade Cunningham up 3 to a 93. Let's go, Cade. Jalen Green also up 1 to a 90, so we got 2 guys in a 90 club. That's nice. Brandon Ingram up 1 to an 88. Chet Holmgren, man, up 5 to an 87. You'll love to see it. I'm super excited to see what next season looks like for our man. I think he's going to be a monster once again. OG Anunoby up 2 to an 86. That's good as well. Dylan Brooks stays put, but that's totally fine. Alexei Pokushevsky, he did go up 1 to an 81. That's nice. Buddy Hield stays put. That's totally fine considering he's 31 years old. Kevon Looney went up 1 to a 77, and Gary Payton II down 1 to a 75, man. Is he still going to be my backup point guard, man? I'm not too sure. I'm not going to lie, man. I kind of like the idea of having Bronny James as my backup point guard. I haven't made my mind up just yet, but I'll do that here in a second. Then we got Bronny James, and we got the Thanasis Antetokounmpo, who is down 1 to a 71. That's totally fine. He's really just here for the memes. But either way, man, we just won a championship, and now we got a lot of green arrows here. Guys are getting better. Let's go to season 3, where it's time to defend our championship. All right, man, taking a look at the team for year 1, we got the same starting lineup: Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, OG Anunoby, Brandon Ingram, and Chet Holmgren. Out the bench, you got Dylan Brooks, Buddy Hield, Alexei Pokushevsky, Kevon Looney, and then I'm actually going to split a little bit of time here for Gary Payton II and Bronny James. I'm going to give Bronny 6 minutes, man. We'll see what he can do. If he looks good, man, then we'll probably move on from GP. We'll just see how that plays out. But anyways, man, let's take a look at the rest of the league now to see how things change. Starting off with the San Diego Crabs, they won a championship in year 1. I think they made the play-in last season. They didn't do too well. And in terms of changes they made this offseason, man, it looks like they brought in Jonas Valanciunas, who was on the Albuquerque Chupacabras. Yep. And that's an interesting one because they also have Brook Lopez, who was on a team last season. He was a midseason trade. So that's interesting that they got 3 centers now. They also got DJ Wagner, which I think is a really nice pickup. He was the 15th overall pick in this past year's draft. I think he's going to go a little bit higher in real life. It is early, obviously. When they won their championship, they had Kyle Lowry and Patrick Beverley as their guards. They really don't have much guard play anymore, man. So I think DJ Wagner honestly is going to start for them right out the gates. That's pretty interesting. Then we got the New Orleans Crawfish, and it doesn't look like they made any changes. LaMelo Ball, Desmond Bane, Chris Middleton, Christian Wood, Bol Bol, Walker Kessler. All of these guys were on the team last season. Actually, never mind. I guess they brought in Jalen Smith. That's actually pretty nice. They need a backup power forward. He was on the Hawaii Honu last season. Okay. So yeah, man, that's a pretty nice addition. I think they made it to the conference finals last season. If not the second round, I'm not too sure. Either way, though, we ended up eliminating them. But yeah, man, they were a good team last year. I got to imagine they're going to be one of the better teams once again this season. Then we got the Detroit Dragons. They didn't make too many changes. The only real addition they made was Malik Beasley. Came over from the Virginia Beach Tridents. The main thing, man, is they got 2 really promising young players, and Amen Thompson and Anthony Black. I don't know how they ended up with both of those guys. Anthony Black, 2nd overall pick in 2023. Hey, man, we held that draft a while back, man. This was probably before Anthony Black even had his rookie season at Arkansas in real life. So that's why he went so high. But either way, he's a really good young player, man. And then Amen Thompson, I guess they got at pick 14. Wow. Yeah, so that's a really good young backcourt, which is paired up with a really nice front court, man, an older one in Julius Randle and Anthony Davis. That's pretty nice. Then we got the Alaska Explorers. You guys already saw the moves they made. They got Mo Bamba on the team as their backup center, and it looks like they also brought in Kyle Anderson, which is actually pretty solid. Definitely an upgrade as their backup power forward, maybe even a backup small forward. I'm not too sure, but either way, I think that's a nice pickup. Then we got the Miami Flamingos, and LeBron James is still here. I thought bro retired. I guess not. Wow, he hit us with a fake out, man. So he got inducted into the Hall of Fame and then said, "Psych, I'm coming back." That's pretty funny. Bro, we should honestly pull off a trade for him, because didn't he say he wants to play with Bronny at some point? And now we got him on our team. But no, we're not going to do all that. Anyways, the Miami Flamingos, they actually made, what was it? I think the 2nd round last season. You guys can fact check me on all of this if you want. I mean, the whole playoff bracket from last year is at the very beginning of this video. And it looks like they got Jalen Duren this offseason, which is crazy, man. He came over from the Mexico City Aztecs. They were an expansion team last year. Last season was their first year. Honestly, it was crazy that the Aztecs even got him in the expansion draft. And he looked really good last season, man. 18 points, 10 rebounds, 2 blocks. Like, come on now. But for some reason, they didn't re-sign him, and I guess the Flamingos did. It's a 1-year, $21 million deal, man. Hey, get your bag, Jalen Duren. I'm not mad at it. But yeah, that's a pretty crazy addition. Apparently, they also had a Bogdan Bogdanovic, who was on the Seattle Sea Lions last year, and Jaden McDaniels, who was on the Jacksonville Sharks. So, man, the Miami Flamingos were busy this offseason, man. They brought LeBron James out of retirement. They got Jalen Duren, Bogdan Bogdanovic, and Jaden McDaniels. I thought I was the winner of the offseason, man. The Flamingos had a really good one, so shout out to them. Then we got the Minnesota Foresters, who didn't really do much this offseason. I guess they just brought in Kobe White. That's pretty much the only addition from the Alaska Explorers. And that's about it, man. They weren't a very good team last season. I doubt they'll be a very good team this year. It is what it is. One team that has been good the entire series, though, is the Hawaii Honu. No surprise they got Luka Doncic. But yeah, they made a few additions here. They brought in James Wiseman, So that's a nice one. And then also Jordan Clarkson off the bench. That's pretty solid, man. Believe it or not, man, they lost in the first round last season, but I think that was a fluke, man. I'm sure they're going to be really good this year. Anyways, we got the Vancouver Huskies now. No Chris Paul anymore because he did retire, and I guess they signed Devin Vassell from the Hawaii Honu. Didn't even realize they lost him, man. That's actually a pretty big loss for Hawaii. But that's a nice addition for Vancouver, man. He's actually the best player on the team, which is pretty funny. But yeah, man, they got some nice young pieces here. Devin Vassell, Trey Murphy, Dyson Daniels. Who else do they got? They also got Asar Thompson. Yeah, they got a nice little young core, man. I think they'll be just fine. Then we got the Sin City Hyenas, who I actually think made the conference finals last season. And they got a really weird roster here, man. They got Tyrese Maxey, Kyrie Irving, and Scoot Henderson, which is very interesting. And apparently they lost Pascal Siakam this offseason, man. Don't know where he ended up, but he's not here anymore, so that definitely is a big loss. Then we got the Kansas City Knights, man, and this is the craziest thing of the entire offseason. I had already said a bunch of times this team had my favorite young core outside of my own team, and they went ahead and added Anthony Edwards, bro, from the Nashville Sounds. So now their starting lineup is Darius Garland, I'm guessing Jaden Ivey, Anthony Edwards, Evan Mobley, and Alperen Sengun. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, man, I kind of like that team better than mine. Like, that team looks like so much fun to play with. Shout out to their GM, man, because they're doing something pretty special there, that's for sure. Then we got the San Jose Lasers, and it looks like this is where Pascal Siakam ended up, and I guess they lost Kawhi Leonard. He used to be here on this team, so that's interesting. Don't know where he ended up, but all right, I guess the Lasers got Pascal Siakam. That's cool. Then we got the Seattle Sea Lions. They were the underdog team in this past year's playoff run, made it all the way to the conference finals. And this offseason, it looks like they lost Bogdanovich, but they did bring in Xavier Tillman. I think that's the only move they made, and it's an interesting one. I guess Kevin Love could play some backup power forward. I don't really know. Either way, though, this team had a really good season last year. They're still led by Jimmy Butler, who is 35 years old now. But yeah, as long as Jimmy's on the team, you definitely can't count them out in the playoffs, that's for sure. Then we got the Mambas, who have been absolutely horrible this entire series, man, which is super disappointing because obviously this team design was inspired by Kobe Bryant, RIP. But speaking of designs, man, I made a quick change here off camera. I'm making their Black Mamba jerseys their home court. I don't know why I didn't have that from the start. It used to be like this sandy beige type of home jersey, which was still cool, but I mean, hey, they gotta rock the Black Mamba jerseys at home, man. There's no way around that. And since this jersey is no longer the road jersey, I went ahead and changed the road ones, man, and I think this one is pretty cool. It's kind of taking inspiration from the Los Angeles Lakers colors. You got the purple and gold, obviously. I think it's super clean. Hopefully this will help them win some more games. Then we got the Omaha Mammoths, just like the Sin City Hyenas. They also have a 3-guard lineup: Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson, and De'Aaron Fox. And the only addition they made this past offseason was bringing Omar Yurtseven. That's actually pretty decent, man. They needed a backup center, and preferably one with size because their starter is Onyeka Okongwu, only 6'9". So I think that was a solid pickup. Then we got the Pittsburgh Phantoms. They didn't really make too many changes here. The only guy they brought in was Chuma Okeke from the Mexico City Aztecs. I guess they just didn't want to bring back any of their players. But yeah, man, that's all there is to it for this team. Not a whole lot going on here. We also got the Carolina Reapers, who back in year one were one of the best teams in the league. This past season, not so much. They actually had the 8th overall pick in this past year's draft. And they got Zachary Ricochet, who I think is actually really solid. I do a lot of long-term sims with my realistic rebuilds, and Zachary Ricochet almost always ends up being a stud. So keep an eye on it, man. I think it'll be really nice for him. Then we got the Paris Reign, who were one of the worst teams in the league back in year one. They got Brandon Miller that season. And in this past year, man, they actually ended up being pretty decent. They didn't make a whole lot of changes this past offseason. They brought in Max Christie, which is nice for a backup shooting guard. And then they also drafted Aaron Bradshaw with the 23rd overall pick in the first round. He's a really athletic center with good size, man. I think it'll be really nice. And they do need a center of the future because I guess right now they're rolling with Daniel Gafford. Not too bad, but I think Bradshaw was a good pick there. Then we got the San Antonio Roadrunners, and I'm not gonna lie, man, as someone who grew up in San Antonio, I'm disappointed that this team is not very good. I mean, they're decent, but they didn't make any additions this past offseason, man, which is super disappointing. They still got like a pretty good team though. Bam Adebayo, Marcus Smart, DeMar DeRozan, Shaedon Sharpe, Jared Vanderbilt. Like, I think they're good, man, but they're not great. It is what it is. By the way, man, if you guys are still watching this video, you are a real one. I know these videos don't perform too well, and I'm sure a lot of people don't really care about like the roster changes around the league. So if you guys are still watching this, man, I really do appreciate y'all. But anyways, let's get back to it here where we got the Jacksonville Sharks. They really didn't make any changes here. The only guy they brought in, I think, was Matisse Thybulle, yeah, from the San Diego Crabs. So nothing too crazy here, man, but they got Steph Curry, they got Josh Giddey, and Victor Wembanyama. They're still a pretty good team, man, that's for sure. Then we got the Nashville Sounds, and yikes, man, they don't have Anthony Edwards anymore. So the best player on the team is Ben Simmons, who is an 86 overall in this timeline, by the way. He's been progressing, so it's a different Ben from the one in real life. He's a former Tucson Coyote, man. He started off the series with us, and then last season we traded him to the Sounds for Brandon Ingram. And I guess this is Ben's team now, man, which is very interesting. I'm really curious to see how they do this year. Then we got the Providence Steamrollers, man, who weren't too good last season, but they got a really nice pickup in the draft. Ron Holland, man, man. He ended up being the 6th overall pick. If the draft were today, man, I think in real life he would go number 1, maybe number 2. But yeah, man, this is a game changer in Providence. I'm not gonna lie. Damian Lillard, DeJounte Murray, and Ron Holland, that's pretty filthy, bro. They don't have a center, which is interesting. But either way, I think the Steamrollers are going to be better this season. Then we got the Tampa Bay Titans that are pretty much the same team here. They also drafted Donovan Clingan with the 12th overall pick in this past year's draft. 7'2" center. That's a pretty good pickup, man, because they got some undersized 5s here in Larry Nance Jr. and Zeke Nahi. So I think Clingan would be nice, man. But either way, Tampa Bay is definitely just one of those average teams. Nothing too crazy. So let's keep it moving. Then we got the Virginia Beach Tritons, man. They were not very good this past season. Partially because they didn't draft very well. They got Babacar Miller with the 9th overall pick in 2023. Again, that draft happened a long time ago, man. But yeah, that's an L, that's for sure. And then this year with the 2nd overall pick, they got Stephon Cassell, who I think is solid, but definitely not the 2nd overall pick, at least as of right now. So yeah, man, if you're rooting for the Tritons, I'm sorry. But their GM is not doing too good of a job so far. We only got a few more teams left, man. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Washington Warhawks, who actually had a really big offseason. They brought in Domantas Sabonis from the Vancouver Huskies, so that is a really nice addition. Bobby Portis can just be their backup center, I guess. But yeah, man, that's an all-star center now paired up alongside Paolo Banchero. It still isn't the best team, but they definitely got better this offseason, that's for sure. Then we got the Cincinnati Warriors, man, and they had the opposite offseason of the Washington Warhawks. They actually lost their star player, Jaylen Brown, in free agency. That's super tough, man. I mean, the good news is they drafted his replacement, Justin Edwards, with the 1st overall pick. He's going to be really good, man. Also a 6'7" shooting guard / small forward, really similar to Jaylen Brown. So I get why you didn't bring him back, man, but still, that's tough. I'm not sure where Jaylen ended up, man, but I guess we'll find that out here in a second. Then we got the Mexico City Aztecs, one of the 2 expansion teams for last season. So they're about to start their 2nd year, and I guess they brought in Kawhi Leonard, man. That is pretty interesting. So they lose Jalen Duren, they bring in Kawhi Leonard, and they still got guys like John Collins, Nick Smith Jr., who actually went crazy as a rookie this past season. 24 points and 10 assists, man. That is insane. 2 steals as well, shot 42% from deep. He's definitely the future face of their franchise, man. But right now, they got a current face, and that's Kawhi Leonard, which is pretty cool. Then we got the 2nd expansion team, which is the Columbus Aviators, and they actually also made a really big move. They brought in Paul George, man. 1 year, $30 million deal. Now, he's 34 years old, only an 84 overall, so nothing too crazy. But they did draft Isaiah Collier as their point guard of the future. That's a really nice addition, man. 5th overall pick, man, and he might even go higher in real life. I think they got a nice thing going on here in Columbus, man. They got some good young pieces, but they also still have some vets, especially for an expansion team, man. I think they're doing pretty well so far. All right, man, we only got 4 teams left. Let's take a look at the Houston Apollos. They didn't make a whole lot of changes here. The only guy they added in the offseason was DeAnthony Melton from the Albuquerque Chupacabras. But other than that, it's pretty much the same team, man. They were really good last season. I think they made the 2nd round. I'm not too sure. But either way, they got 99 overall Jason Tatum, which is pretty crazy. And then also 2 really high 80 overall guys in DeAndre Ayton and Tyler Hero. I'm sure they're going to be one of the best teams once again this season. Then we got the Austin Bats, man, and that's where Jaylen Brown ended up. What a backcourt pairing. Him and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is pretty insane, man. Now, they don't really have a whole lot of wings. I guess they're rolling with Terrence Davis at the 3. But either way, man, that backcourt is definitely going to carry 95 overall and 93 overall. That's pretty scary, man. I think Austin's going to be really good this year. 2 more teams, man. We got the Buffalo Blizzard. This is the team I beat in the finals last season, and they pretty much just brought everybody back. Like, there's no real changes here, which is fine. Again, they made the finals last year. They still got Giannis Antetokounmpo, 98 overall. I think they're going to be just fine. And then the last team is the Albuquerque Chupacabras, man. The only addition they made in the offseason was Monte Morris. He was on the Alaska Explorers last season. I think he'll be a nice backup point guard. And they also got Modest Buzelis, man, with the 9th overall pick. He could honestly end up being the 1st overall pick in real life, man. Again, I know it's early, but he really is that nice, man. I think in a few years, him, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Tyrese Halliburton will be a really nice big 3 for the future. But when it comes to this season, they're probably not going to be very good. And that takes us back to our team, man. That is a look at all 30 squads. Our next episode is going to be our season opener against the New Orleans Crawfish. That should be a fun one. I post every weekday, as you guys know, but I'm actually going to put that one out this weekend. That's the plan, at least. I know I've said that a bunch of times and I never end up doing it. I apologize. I just get busy. But either way, man, I'm super excited for season 3. If you guys are also excited, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. Again, we just hit 2,000 subs on this channel, so if you still haven't hit that button, I'd really appreciate it if you could. But anyways, man, this has been TKJ. Blessings.